welcome into the podcast, the Counter Show, the show of shows. We are here today with our good friend Rothmeyer. We are standing on the Guaymas channel. Let me see if I can show you folks out there what this looks like. There you go. We're on the Guaymas channel. That is looking up towards the. And we have a passerby.
Oh, hey. Hey, now it's a live podcast now. Yeah. All right.
Thanks for joining. So we're here today and we're going to talk about Rothmeyer's e-bike. That's what this podcast is about today. Keith is a big fan of the e-bikes, and we've been wanting to have a conversation about how much these things cost and why people want them and that sort of stuff. So why don't we get this thing started, Keith? Go ahead.
Let's
roll with this thing.
Let's talk about what this one is first. If that's maybe let's start there. What did you get, Mike? What's the model we're looking at?
I got a Giant Stance E Plus. That is, as far as I understand, that's all of what it is.
What's the, do you happen to know is it a composite frame? Do you know what they're making them out of? I know it's not carbon.
Gosh.
I mean, it has to be heavier to support that extra weight, right?
Yeah, I would say so. But I didn't do my homework on that.
It's all right. No, it's fine. I threw you a curveball.
Hey, that wasn't part of the question list.
Hey, man.
It's okay. I don't mind. I'll just say I don't know if I don't know.
I don't read. I just I do it live.
Ride.
So, what made you decide to get one of these? What was your motivation? Actually, let's back up a second. You got more than one of these, right?
Yeah, my wife got one as well.
And
but not the same bike. Not the same bike.
Also a Giant?
No.
Ooh.
No, it was more of a...
Oh, here we go. What you get?
Oh man, I couldn't tell you the brand. It's a pretty generic.
So you were just like, go get whatever you want. I'm out of that.
No. It went this way. I wanted to get one of these things mainly for commuting back and forth to work, and then on my I started bike packing years ago. Back when I found a road that was closed and it was like 19 miles back, of just gorgeous campgrounds that are, inaccessible in any other way other than biking in or hiking in. And so we just load up trailers. But man, the hills are just killing you when you have like so much gear, especially when you have a trailer. So I thought the e-bike was going to be the thing that was going to get me back further. With the gear and I'm 220 myself too, so it's not super easy, biking up those hills. Mainly, that's the main thing.
So
hey,
you have
real quick, man. There's somebody, Keith. Amy's a big fan of the Parts Counter Gurus.
Hey,
she just happens to be out walking her dog. Say hi.
Hey,
Amy.
What's up, Amy? Oh, come on, this is a stalking move. I know what these are.
Yeah. But so
we got to see the pooch. We got to see the pooch.
You want to see the pooch?
Yeah. What do we got? Oh, hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so Amy's a big fan of the show. Sorry about that, Mike. We're just
no worries.
You're friends with Amy as well, but she's a great cook, and her and I are actually going to get together and we're going to do a podcast. We'll have Rothmeyer over and her other half, Bill. We're going to get together. We might even have Bill make some crab cakes for us live on the air. So we're going to do one before the weather turns on us. So pay attention to this, all of you Parts Counter Gurus fans. So there you go. I can cook too. So
Throwdown? Did I hear her say throwdown?
She said we will have a throwdown, man.
Yeah. That's the best video content. That's the best you could hope for.
Right. See ya. That's what you get when you're live on location.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Everybody knows your name.
So, do you have a bike rack?
For my car?
Yeah.
Yes. Just got one. And again, I couldn't tell you what the brand is.
I'm not going to take you there. But where does it, on the roof? Or are we talking on the bumper? Or where are we mounting this?
Oh, no, I had to get on the bumper, man. These things are heavy.
That's where I was
going. I would not want to put that on the roof, man.
Okay. So
I have had roof racks, but for my bikes before, and it was challenging enough. So
now, when you can you replace the batteries on these? Do you know?
Yeah,
Are
you
they
can.
replaceable?
And you can even get. Yes, you can, and they have auxiliary batteries you can get for them too. I was just looking that up for $600. I can get another 65% of what I can actually have on a full charge.
Okay.
So, I was just looking that up for this podcast, and I was like, oh man, now I'm kind of lusting after that.
So you can add, you're going to add a little bit more weight, but it's just like a car. You're going to be able to go further into the overland area with an extra battery pack. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, I know you haven't thought of this, but I'm going to go ahead and plant the seed now because I like stirring up trouble.
Yeah, good.
Have you looked into those lightweight solar panels that you can use to do battery recharges?
I haven't, but that is something I would love to figure out, because a lot of times I'm out there, and if we're going to be multiple days, oh man, it'd be great to be able to charge up.
So I've done that kind of stuff, and the question I would wonder is, it's almost, again, like a car. You know, if you throw that thing on the ground, because they're small, a lot of them are foldable, and you leave it sit there for an hour, how many miles do you get? You know, is that going to give you like 2 more miles, 4 more miles? So that's kind of the thing that I'm interested in is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get to your campsite, you leave the bike there for 24 hours. How much do you get back?
Yeah, I guess it would depend on whether or not if that charge is giving me what a wall would give me somehow, then it wouldn't take more than 3 hours to get me full.
They usually don't. They're a very small percentage of the kind that you would be able to carry with you, right? That's not going to weigh like 10 pounds or whatever.
And it's definitely got a what do you call it? Like some sort of converter type thing. It's like a quick charge. On it. So I'm wondering too if my biggest question would be, can a solar panel even give me enough juice to get that thing woken up and get it moving?
Yeah, I bet you it would, but you know,
it might take a while. It might take a while on the charge, like a trickle, but it's actually probably not a bad thing to happen, really, from an abuse of charging. But these batteries can handle quick charges, so it's really not that big of a deal. You know, here's a question that I have for you, Mike. You know, we talked about this early on when you got this. You were so excited about getting this bike, and I know your wife was as well. You guys have 2 different types. I know that, but I asked you, I said, so what did you pay for this thing? And you came back and you said, man, this thing is like worth more than my Pathfinder, right? Or no, it's not a Pathfinder, it's a Forerunner, right?
How dare you?
Yeah, I got a
sorry about that.
Nissan Toyota, buddy.
I got a really good deal on my Forerunner, but this was $200 more than I paid for my Forerunner. Yeah.
To Skagit Cycle now. You can get these bikes a lot of places. I've seen them at Costco. I just bought my son a Marin. That is not an e-bike. It's just a straight up off-road dirt bike, like just a pedal bicycle. It's a mountain bike. But, you know, the bike shops around here, they've got e-bikes, left and right. They're a thing now. I mean, they almost can't ignore the demand. Now, I know you wanted to support local, but... what about, like, I mean, you got to service these things, right? And
yes,
I mean, it's not like you just buy it and let's say it's got a year warranty on it and you don't touch it for a year or year and a half, right? Especially if you're riding it to work.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to learn a lot about this. I end up watching a bunch of videos every time something comes up.
So that's another kind of like if you would have bought this from Sam's Club or somebody like that. You're going to have to find if you're in a situation where you can't fix it yourself, now you've got to find somebody that knows what they're doing. So, there's just food for thought. If you're going to buy one of these things, make sure you at least have somebody lined up that can help you work on it.
So I got some questions surrounding these things and the battery. Now, is there not an accessory outlet on this thing somewhere?
Like to charge your phone?
What are you saying?
Let's say you get a flat tire or you need to put air in it or something, and you've got I guess you always can have some other type of pump, but
you usually carry CO2. Jay, remember the old BB guns that ran on CO2 tanks?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I know. Is that what you have, Mike?
I have those.
Let's show everybody. Yeah,
I have those for for backpacking or for bike packing, I should say. But this is my daily commuter one. Just a little pump there.
Yep.
Okay,
And,
so it carries a full-on pump.
Yeah, it works great. And, for having a pack this size, it's perfect.
So for any of you guys out there and just listen to this, so you have to really think these things out, because they are going to require maintenance, and you are just like an automobile. You need to have a little kit on you. So obviously Rothmeyer has kitted his vehicle, if you will, with all the necessary stuff to keep him rolling if he needs to.
Let's not say all the necessary, Jay. That's a little overstatement.
Oh, you don't have room for a cooler, do you?
Yeah, right. So let's do this. If we can get him to take us through this bike, Jay, I'm going to mute you, because I'm going to leave your camera angle in place.
Okay.
And then we'll get him. Just take us through it, man. Tell us what's on it, what you like about it, things that you've discovered.
Okay.
And this is tell me again the model. This is a Giant.
It's a Giant Stance E+.
All right.
When I was describing, can I back up a little bit too?
Yeah.
When I was describing to the shop guy, I want to say his name Jeff. Anyway, I was telling him what I wanted and my price range, because I was trying to stay around 3,000 was kind of what I was looking for. And like you said, that's like entry level. That's totally entry level. And that's the way this bike's been reviewed online too, is it's an entry level, mountain bike with, a mountain e-bike. So, the more we went over what I want to do, and he was really trying to get me this hybrid thing that would take me on the trail and also take me to work every day, we were landing more on a Specialized that was going to end up, it got pushed up to more like $3,800, and I was going to have to special order it, and it was going to take, because everything's taking forever, so it was going to take like, I don't know what it was. It was unacceptable to me. It was like, it was going to be 2 months out or something like that. And so then I go, well, I saw this on the floor.
No, I'm just messing with you.
I saw this on the floor. It was a floor model, and I go, well, how much is that one? And he goes, that's about 46. And I'm like, and then we talked a little bit about what it has. And we talked about some of the other ones. He wasn't trying to sell me a hub drive, but obviously this is not a hub drive. This has a Yamaha motor in it, and and it could carry, my 220 pounds plus another. I said I probably would be putting with panniers and a backpack and stuff like that, maybe up to 50 pounds. And he was saying, yeah, that's no problem for this. Between whether it's the shocks and the motor and everything, he really, and the battery, all that stuff, he felt that this was appropriate for what I'm trying to do. He just thought, and correctly, he's like, if you're not, using it to bomb down mountains, then you're just missing out, I guess, but it'll work for what you want to do. So again, I'm just impulse buyer sometimes, especially when I'm like, I need this to go on this trip I need to go on, and I don't want to wait a couple months for the perfect bike. And so I just went for it, paid a little bit of money on some fenders that are important, especially if I'm going to work. I can't be all, rain splattered, mud splattered. And since it's 100%, suspension here, I can't just put panniers on here, and it has to be, hooked up or like clamped to the post here, the seat post.
I see. So that's your rear. Effectively, that's your rear shock.
Correct.
Okay, and then the front forks, of course, are pretty.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you can adjust them too. I think it's a little squishy. I was going to have, that's like back to the point of taking it into the shop, or I can look it up, but I need to tighten it up a little bit because it's a little squishy.
Yeah. So if you're bombing, as you say, you want.
So Keith, can you hear me on the mic?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Take a look at the rake on this thing. Isn't that awesome?
It's insane, man. I mean, it is really cool.
That is built for what he's wanting to do, and I love that. That's got to be just such a comfortable ride.
It is so comfortable.
All right, so talk to me a little bit about that thing. Do you ride it in what they refer to as an assist mode when you ride it to work? Because it's heavier than your typical mountain bike, right?
Yeah, and I always say too, it's nothing with a throttle or anything like that. So you got to pedal, you got to work, but
always, you always have to pedal.
Definitely, yeah. It's assist only. There's
Okay.
no throttle.
Okay.
Which is good. I like it. So this has 5 different settings, and I can't remember what they call it. It's like eco, fitness, and then sport, and then
balls out.
Balls out. I was going to say full on. So there's that, and then. And so you can kind of, if you want to get a workout, I mean, you can work as hard as you want, or you want to save the battery. That's the other thing. You want to work and save the battery. You can do that, especially if you're on flat ground. Maybe I would crank that down. But the cool thing it also has is automatic, so it can sense based on it has a speed sensor in there, and I should say it has like a 20 mile an hour. What do you call that? 20 mile an hour governor. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And
Hang on. I'm Googling how to remove that right now. Sorry.
So I can get 30. That'd be great. Yeah, because once I'm kicking down, it's a 10 speed. So once I'm up in that, or so down in those gears, I can be huffing on it. But if I'm going over 20, then that's all me.
So if it's not an automatic, does it shift just like a traditional road bike or a mountain bike?
The whole thing. Oh yeah, I should say when I said automatic, it's more that between your speed and how hard you're pressing on the pedals, it will give you that much more
the assist. I gotcha. Okay.
And that's all it's doing. It's regulating that rather than having it on that, say, full setting where it's just full no matter how hard you press. The automatic seems to be a good sort of energy saver for the battery because it's just sensing that, if you're racing, maybe that's not a good idea,
Right.
But if you're just traveling, it makes a ton of sense.
So, but shifting is just like if you know how to shift a traditional bicycle, you can do this, right?
Yes. Not only that, Keith, it is crucial to treat it that way, is what the salesman was telling me too.
Okay.
And I've learned that it's 100% true. Like where you should be in a high gear, you should be in a high gear, and when you need to shift down, you need to shift down. Otherwise, it's not going to just carry you over in the wrong gear.
Now, do you charge it at work?
No, I never have to. I only live. I think it takes me 10 minutes to get from my house to work in my car, and it takes me 13 minutes to get from my house to work on the bike.
How long? When you charge it up, does it have like a charge meter like you would see on a phone or something that kind of when it's full charged?
I think there's an app I need to get for that because it doesn't just show me that. I take that back. There is a little display. Jay, you want to see this? I don't know if you can catch it. There's a little display here. This is our battery here.
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
And then so this is that's automatic mode, and then and then there's one granny, and then
did you just say granny?
Yeah.
So okay, and
so it will show. It'll show you that when you're charging it.
It's a vehicle, man. It's just not just a bike.
It's got disc brakes on it. So you're thinking,
oh, yeah.
I mean, this could realistically be the last bike you buy. If you can buy batteries for this thing and you get another, 10, 15 years out of that, I mean, that's that's not a, buy it and get rid of it in 2 years bike. That thing's going to be around for a while. I couldn't
agree more. Yeah, that's exactly when I was having a little bit of my buyer's remorse, going like, man, I could have saved $1,000, probably got something, that would have worked for me. But then I thought, like you're saying, but I would expect to get 20 years out of this thing. Technology is going to get better and I might want another one, but this should hold its value. And I don't see any reason to do anymore because it's great.
I know none of us weigh our gear, but like if you had to guess,
yeah, I do.
Okay. How much are you carrying?
I had, my wife has panniers, so we put some heavy stuff in her panniers. But if let's just ignore that for a second and say I have 35 pounds in my backpack. I'm trying to get down to 30. I'm working on it. And then in the packs, I probably, because I don't have much in packs, I probably had another like 5 or 6 pounds.
Okay. So to put that in perspective,
40-ish.
Everybody, go strap a 6-year-old, 5-year-old to your back.
Yeah, exactly.
And think about that, and riding not in your neighborhood down the street to Amy's house, but out,
That's
know,
right.
on a trail, maybe a single track, maybe not, but still, that's a lot, and that says a lot that you can do that on a bike like that, and you're not whooped, after a mile.
And the thing that we have to be clear to our audience about, Keith, is that there are so many variations in these types of bikes that you really need to make sure that you find the right fit for you. I know that Rothmeyer picked this thing up specifically for his needs, what he wanted, and expand on what he already does.
Well, and those guys know him, and we kind of glossed over that, but those guys know him. It wasn't like the first time he walked in that store and said, "Sell me a bike."
That's right.
Like, they went, "All right, you're a local celebrity. We already know your habits. Here you go."
A few drinks, that's all.
Yeah, serves them a few drinks occasionally. That's right.
Yeah. I got you.
So,
I had you on mute, by the way.
That's okay. And I think you have to. Yeah, there you go. But that's the key. That the point that I'm trying to make is that be mindful that these things are not cheap. In fact, Keith and I discovered that Jeep is actually in the game. I told you this today, Rothmeyer.
Jeep is in the game. Yamaha got in the game. Ducati's in the game now. What does that tell you?
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. That is a growing trend. When you have the players like that, and of course, Yamaha's already in it. They're supplying the motor.
Right.
Here.
They had the tech. So they went, "Hey, we can make frames. We can make engines. We can make motors. Let's go ahead and put them all together."
My opinion on all this and where it's going to go is, we talked about this, and again, Keith, I hate to tell you I told you so, but we talked about the market, the EV market expanding, even into off-road vehicles or overland type vehicles and RVs and stuff. This is a perfect fit for people who are eco-conscious, and that need transportation once they get there, because let's face it, you may be strapped with the challenge of trying to get a charge somewhere, and then this could give you an opportunity to save some of that charge and be mobile once you get to where you're going. So,
Mike, standard 110 plug to charge it?
That's right.
Okay, so any wall port at work or whatever. I remember, guys, I want to say it's been 15 years ago. You guys both probably remember the famous broadcaster Paul Harvey, right?
Of course. Oh,
so
man.
Now go ahead and give us the rest of the story, Keith.
Yeah, so the rest of the story is that they did some research. I was going to call it a survey. It's not a survey. In Nashville, as we look at Jay's Shoe Toss IPA, when Paul Harvey was alive and he featured it on his radio program here in my city, that they tested, I guess, walking or jogging, bicycling, and driving your car to work. And there was a couple set routes in town. And the one that came in last was the car. And the one that came in first was the bicycle. And so people biking to work, and I mean, without knowing, without giving out Rothmeyer's home address on the podcast, if it takes him 10 minutes in his vehicle and 13 on his bike, and I know he lives more than half a mile from work. I mean, that's
right.
that's pretty good, man. I mean, you're clipping along on a bike. It's not really that much
I
slower.
I should mention it's downhill to work and uphill back.
It's uphill both ways, right?
No, right, yeah. No, but it takes me longer to get home, for sure, from work. But still, yeah, like it's just nothing. And I was telling Jay, I'm going to do some footage of the hill I have to go up with, my last little hill to get up to my house. It's brutal. And when I used to ride my bike to work, I just would dread it. I would dread that hill so much. And now I look at it and I just go like, come on. I'm still going to sweat, but it's not bad.
All right. I'm going to leave you with this. And I'm just curious because this is a real world scenario. And I can hear people asking this question in my head. Is there ever a day when it's like you go to work and I know you're checking the weather before you leave, but you get at work and then you got to deal with bad weather on the way home, and what's that gonna is that gonna factor in?
So I've used it. I've rode in, I should say, in some pretty bad weather, but I have to put on my my weatherproof hiking pants and I'll put a shell on as well, of course, and then I can just take that off and start my workday. It's not like I even need to, I don't need a shower or anything because that's a pretty short ride.
And you're okay to leave that bike out? I mean, I understand you lock it up, but you just leave it out in the elements?
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. I do worry about that. I could take it into work, and I could get a cover for it, too. That might be a good idea. I don't think getting the electric motor wet would be a good idea necessarily, or too much, I guess. I don't know. Well, but I have
some of them are water rated. It just, I guess it depends on the specific bike. But you've ridden it in the rain, right?
Yeah, and it was comfy. It was great.
All right. What's Jay doing here? All right, Jay. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to thank Rothmeyer for giving us the opportunity to talk about this bike firsthand on the Parks County Gurus, which is awesome. Need to give a little plug to Joe over at the Union Tavern for allowing us to film a little bit this afternoon there beforehand too. Got to mention Joe.
You know what's not on that bike that I can see right now is there's no bottle cage.
That's true.
So you're gonna have to finish those drinks before you go. Before you head out.
Yeah, we're headed back to the bar, pal.
That's right.
But no, just thank Rothmeyer today for taking the time to share his experience on this e-bike. Keith, you and I both know that it's a growing trend, and we're excited to be able to review this thing with him today and talk about it, and hope that our audience enjoyed it. But I'm going to lead everybody out with this. If you've enjoyed this, subscribe to our podcast, and you can do that by going over to parkscountyguru.com, and there's a podcast link up there. If you want to watch some of the video portions of this, you can go over to youtube.com/Parks County Gurus. While you're there, please like us, ring that bell, and subscribe. Tell a friend, please. You can follow us on social media. We're over on Facebook.com/Parks County Gurus. We're over on Instagram at Instagram.com/The Parks County Gurus. If you want to check us out on Twitter, you can do that. Instagram.com, and we are at The Counter Show, which is what you're listening to right now. You're listening to The Counter Show, guys. So outside of that, thanks for listening to us today, and I'm sure Keith's going to take us out on a closing note here.
Yeah, thanks, Michael, for giving us the tour. I cannot wait to chase you down in person on something. I don't know if it's going to be electric or not, but I hope to see you again soon, man.
Oh, man, I'd love to go out with your 250 too.
Yeah, well, I think more importantly, we got to find a place to take them. That's the trick, Just go find some place where we can disappear for 24 hours. I'm not. Right. I don't want to get as close to the bears as you do, but yeah. So thank you both, guys. Go have a good time tonight. I'm jealous. Everybody, thanks. As Jay said. I guess I'll leave you with this, although you guys are the ones drinking. If you don't like it, I'll drink it for you.
Ooh,
Take care, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for having us. Bye.